All right, welcome to Math with Mr. Strands. This is Matthew C, lesson 9B of pre-algebra. This is solving for the unknown, okay? So the key that we want to do in this lesson is get x by itself. So we want to get x looking like this, all by itself on one side of the equation, okay? In order to do that, we need to move stuff that is not x over to the other side. So if we have x plus 18 equals 24, we have a positive 18. To get rid of this positive 18, we need to subtract 18. If we do that, these cancel out. But in algebra, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. So if I subtract 18 from the left side, I have to subtract 18 from the right side. That's going to leave me with x equals 6. If I want to check my work, I'm just going to put 6 in to my original equation where x was. So I have 6 plus 18 equals 24, and I can see that that is correct. Okay, so you're going to do that with these. Let's actually go down to number 9. Number 9, we have a couple b's on each side. We have 2b on the right side and 3b on the left side. We need to get b only on one side. So in order to do that, I'm going to subtract 2b from this side. That's going to cancel the positive 2b and the negative 2b out. I also have to subtract 2b from this side though. So now I'm just left with 1b plus 4 equals a negative 4. I'm almost there, but I got to move this 4 over here to get b by itself. So I got a positive 4. I need to eliminate that by subtracting 4. I also have to subtract 4 on this side. Now b is all by itself. I got negative 4 minus 4, which is a negative 8. If I want to check my work, I just plug negative 8 into my original equation where b was. So I would have 3 times negative 8 plus 4 equals 2 times negative 8 minus 4. If I have 3 times negative 8, that's a negative 24. Negative 24 plus 4 is a negative 20. Negative 16 minus 4 is also a negative 20, so you know that is correct. Okay. Let's go down to the word problems. Okay, so 13. Sam is 6 years older than John. If Sam is 18, how old is John? Okay, so Sam is 18, right? It's an equals. Sam is 18, and Sam is 6 years older than John. So John plus 6 equals 18, okay? So to figure out how old John is, I need to subtract 6 from this side. These cancel out. Subtract 6 from this side. J equals 12. And that makes sense because Sam is 6 years older than John. John's 12. Sam is 6 years older, which makes him 18. Okay, let's look at number 14. 5 times a number. So we got 5 times a number. We don't know what that number is, so I'm just going to call it n. Plus 9 is, whenever you see is, that means equals 4 times the number. So 4 times the number plus 12. And we need to find out what n is going to equal. Okay, we need to get n on only one side of the equation. So I'm going to take this 4n and move it over here. So in order to do that, I'm going to subtract 4n. These cancel out. Subtract 4n. I'm left with n. I'm getting a phone call, sorry. I'm left with n plus 9 equals a 12. To get n by itself, I subtract 9, n equals 3. Okay. I'm going to skip number 15. I feel like you can do that. Number 16 is worded terribly. I am sorry. I think it is a disgrace that they first used 2 names with the same letter. That makes it very confusing. Okay, but let's try to break this one apart anyways. David and Daniel were given the same number of dollars by their father. David earned money doing chores until he had twice as much as he started with. We don't know how much he started with, so we're going to call that dollars, D for dollars. Let's make it more confusing than it already is. Until he had twice as much, so 2D, okay, twice the amount of dollars. Daniel didn't earn any more okay? But he received $12 for his birthday. So 12, okay, plus the original amount he had, which we don't know. If the boys still had the same amount of money, how much did the father give each one? Hint, use the same unknown to express how much money each boy has. Then make the two amounts equal to each other. Okay, so David earned money doing chores until he had twice as much. So twice as much means you are multiplying something by 2. So we're taking 2 and we're multiplying it by the amount he has, which we don't know. Daniel didn't earn any more. Okay, so he had the original, he didn't earn any more, but he received $12. So he had the original amount plus $12 for his birthday. Okay, so now we need to solve this. I need to get rid of this D, so I'm going to move it over to this side. In order to do that, I need to subtract D. These cancel out, subtract a D, and I'm left with 1D now equals 12. So we know that the original amount that they had was 12. Again, not a fan of that problem. Think they could have done it a lot better. It is a long paragraph for such an easy problem. Let's look at 17. Margie finished X chores. Again, I don't like that they use X because X is a multiplication sign. You have tons of letters in the alphabet you can use, and you chose to use X. I don't know what they were thinking. Could have used any other C for chores. How about it? But they want to use X. Let's try that. So she finished X chores. Martha did 8 chores. 15 were completed by the 2 girls. So total, they did 15 chores. Margie did X. Martha did 8. Together, they did 15. How many chores were completed by Margie? Again, why in the world are they using 2 M's, Margie and Martha? Can't you use different names so it's not as confusing? I should write a math book. Okay, so we're going to subtract 8 from this side to get rid of it because we need to move it over to the other side, and that leaves X equals 7. Margie did 7 chores. Okay, number 18, last one. 2 times the number of dimes in the bank equals, so here's our equals, 2 times the number of dimes, so 2 times the number of dimes equals the number of dimes, which is D, plus 30. This one's a little bit more straightforward. I'm using D because dimes actually makes sense. Okay, so I need to move this D over here to get all my D's on one side of the equation. So if I subtract D from this side, I subtract D from this side, I have 1D left equals 30. And there's my answer. How many dimes are in the bank? There's 30 dimes in the bank. All right, so that is 9B. Hope you enjoyed this. Watch it as many times as you need to get the hang of it. We will continue on with 9C tomorrow.